Good, beautiful day, everybody. It's Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul, live Q&A for all of you there. We are at a very interesting time in human collective unconsciousness, and I want to give everybody a few minutes to come on live here. It's important that you know that a lot of stuff going on right now, I'm beginning to realize I need to marry cosmology and psychology and medicine in a very unusual way to account for this wonderful event that's happening on this planet at this time, where we are now seeing the energies of the sun beginning to affect planetary consciousness in a very unique and distinct way. Now, just so you're aware, I'm not a professional scientist, nor am I a psychologist. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And these energies coming from the sun, I've done enough digging into it to know that it alters and affects DNA. It alters and affects emotions. It alters and affects what you think about. And if you allow yourself to start to become aware of this reality, you can start to recognize that learning how to operate your own mind and how to operate your own body and how to be in charge of your health and your emotional energy, most importantly, for your emotions are what are the creative substance that gives life to the things in your world, your health, your mind. The emotions are what drive all of that. And they are being affected by these energies coming into the planet. We call them ascension energies. That is, they're energies that can elevate your energy up physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or they can degrade it physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. The dominant emotions, thoughts, and the lifestyle choices you're making right now will be amplified by these energies. It doesn't matter if you are angelic in nature and being, then that will be amplified. If you're angry and frustrated and in low vibrational state, that will be amplified. Whatever dominant state you're going to choose to keep your attention in at any point in time, the sun, the galactic center, the universal center, are altering and changing the functions of energy on this planet, giving humanity a chance to elevate itself up to great heights or to plummet down into destruction and despair again, which is what we have done many, many, many times historically. There are events, geological and geophysical events, that will happen, but these can be altered, I believe, by our ability to unify our consciousness collectively and to assert that collective will upon the substance of time, space, and matter, which we do all the time anyway. Even speaking these words is a function coming from an invisible place through this physical mechanism coming out through this voice box and affecting everything that it comes in contact with. Just as when you interact with people, you are affecting time, space, and matter. We are all doing this. Every single human being on this planet, every living organism is interacting with, altering, and affecting time, space, and matter. Even the birds, the trees, the fishes, everything is interacting in a dynamic dance of unity, each affecting the time, space, matter experience in its own unique way with its own unique energy. And this is our Q&A day, so we will be taking questions. I want to give people time to get on, but this is what's been coming to me today to share with you guys what they want us to talk about. Because it's important you realize some of the things that are going on in you mentally and emotionally are being affected by the energy coming into this planet. And what you are holding on to emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically is going to be either amplified in a good way or a negative way. There's no middle ground with this energy. There's no middle ground. You've got to choose love or you choose fear now. They're very, very distinct energies with many different shades within each. The functions of love have many shades in there. The functions of fear have many shades in there from the most extremes of each, which is you could take somebody like Ascended Master Jesus, who would be at the higher function of love, or someone like the persona of what you call the devil or Satan, which functions at the higher spectrum of fear. Each exerting its own influence, and then all the spectrums below that. Different emotions, different actions, different thoughts representing those spectrums. And I highly encourage you, as I've been telling me every single day, meditation becomes life-serving for everyone. Learning to operate and assert authority over your own thinking system, that's your thoughts, which in turn loans itself to giving you authority over your emotional realm, your energy, which in turn alters and influences the actions you take with your body, the things you'll eat or not eat, the things you'll do or not do. So at this point, the function of meditation does not have to be a complex or difficult process. It's not about some sitting on a pillow in a mountain or an ashram. That's just one measure of it. But being able to just teach your own mind to be still, to be quiet, to be open, to be receptive, to teach your mind, which in turn affects your emotions, to train your mind, to train your body, to train your emotions, to be in a state that is desirable and life-serving for you. The benefits to meditation are manifold. Healing is simply one of them. Learning to realize that you are not your mind, you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotion. They are elements of your acquired personality that you get to work with, that you've acquired from the environment. You have to reorganize those so they suit you and serve you instead of operate against you. But until you find yourself awakened enough in the position where you realize you do have authority over your thoughts, you do have authority over your emotions, you do have authority over your biology, you do have authority over what will occur in your life to a greater extent than many people can imagine. Oh yes, thank you for that. So that realization in and of itself is important. Before we get into Q&A today, that realization that you can learn to assert loving authority over your mind and your body is the single most important skill to learn and develop at this time in human collective unconsciousness, not just for yourself, but for everybody. We are riddled with fear and anger, guilt and shame collectively and individually, but we also have these great noble characteristics of love and intelligence and compassion and kindness. And we need to start realizing them. You need to start realizing them, that you are not a hopeless, helpless being. You are a divine entity here to learn a function of creation in this incredible dance of time, space, and matter. And yes, there are many facets. I mean, we only see a small part of what is real with our eyes, with our ears. We hear so little, we see so little, most people. And getting yourself to a place where you realize you are the thinker, not the thoughts. You are the feeler, not the feelings. And then awakening to the fact that you can alter and change thoughts. You can change the way memory and emotion affect you, because you can become the authority over them. That is the ultimate opportunity for you right now. This process we call the Ascension process is about learning to harness, utilize, and manufacture creative processes that are life-serving both for the individual and the collective of humanity. And you can see with the craziness going on the planet that is being amplified, and also as is also the good. These energies are not neutral. They cannot be ignored. They cannot be denied. They exist. Many of you are experiencing them. Some of the symptoms you might feel biologically may be ringing in the ears, dizziness, fatigue. These are just some of the physical symptoms. There's many others as well. There's psychological symptoms, spontaneous emotions coming out of nowhere, feelings of rage or uncertainty, feelings of euphoria, because both spectrums are being amplified. The spectrum of love and the spectrum of fear are both being amplified. So whatever state you choose to be in any moment, whatever nature of the thoughts that you have in your mind, they will be amplified energetically by these energies coming into the planet, which will be increasing. They will not be decreasing for a while. And I asked a scientist the other day, and I said, is it possible that human collective unconsciousness united could alter and affect the way these energies are interacting with the planet? Can we alter the way the energies coming from the sun, coming from the galactic center, coming from the universal center, can we alter the way those energies will affect this planet and ourselves? And he said, Quite simply, no. And I disagree with that statement completely. And the reason I disagree is because I know right now, as I have these thoughts going through this body, and that as these thoughts move through this body, they affect the matter of this flesh and cause the flesh to speak words. I know that when I feel a certain way, that this body reacts and responds, the invisible realm of thought and emotion affecting matter. And so I know that I affect matter with my thoughts. You know, in the mystical sense where they talk about telekinesis and moving objects with your mind, I believe that is absolutely true. I believe it is true. I do not know that it's true from my own experience, except in a very small, nominal way that I can observe that I've thought certain things and I've watched them happen around me. But we're not talking about the levitation of objects, right? We're talking about human collective unconsciousness being united in such a profound way that we can alter and change the conditions of life in this physical dimension as they will affect us. So while I disagree with that scientist, as long as we remain unconscious of the fact that we do affect matter with our thoughts, then yes, he's absolutely correct. Collectively and individually, if you do not believe that you have the ability to affect time, space, and matter with your thoughts, even though you're doing it all the time, we're all doing it all the time. But we're doing it separately. We're doing it in small ways in our own little lives. And that's a wonderful and beautiful thing. But you have a whole world to think about. 7 billion souls, almost 8 billion souls on this planet now. Imagine them coming together in a vibrational state of love and how that would affect time, space, and matter. Just as when a person gets really excited, their body gets affected. That the matter of their body is affected by their excitement. Is it not possible when you take 8 billion souls together to get into a state of love and grace? Is it not possible that you get 8 billion people together and they focus on the conception, the idea of love as a function? What would that energy cause us to think, to say, to do? I mean, psychologically speaking, when people get really angry and upset, they do things that reflect that state. When people are in states of joy, they do things that reflect that state of energy. So we do know, it's obvious, we affect matter with energy, which is emotion. And we create the nature and quality of that emotion with our thinking. I'm almost completed here because they really were insistent that this come through today. That you hear these words, that you realize that no matter what your position is, whether you are in love or in despair, you have a greater authority over your life than you have been led to believe. And much of what we see in the educational systems does not loan itself to teaching you that you are a spiritual entity, that you can alter and change the type of thoughts that go in your mind, which in turn alters and changes the nature and quality of the emotions that your brain will generate to affect your actions. And yet there are many teachers on the planet that are teaching people to master their minds and master their bodies and for themselves. But what about collectively bringing humanity together with a real clear conception of a function of love? How would that impact our global society? How will that change what's coming into this planet energetically? Just as how do you change and affect your physical world just by how you interact with it? The way you interact with your physical world affects it. Your body, your mind, what you eat, what you drink. And so I put this to you that you consider learning the simplicity of sitting your body down, teaching it to be still, teaching your mind to be quiet, teaching yourself to be in peace. At least learn that skill for yourself so that you're not being dragged around through your life by a personality that the world made up for you. Because that's how a lot of people feel right now. They feel like they're being dragged through life against their will into a life they're not desiring. And it's not because they don't want a good life. Everybody wants a good life. But what they don't know is that they can actually change the way the personality functions. They can quiet the mind down, quiet the body down, lead themselves to a state of peace, which allows a state of self-reflection. In a state of peace, in a peaceful mindset, you have the opportunity to reflect on what you really want to think, because what you think is creating your experiences right now. Whether you're thinking it consciously or unconsciously isn't what's important. What's important is that what you are thinking in your mind, what's going on in your mind is creating your life. Now we'll get into some questions and answers for everybody. Just understand there is so much more you are capable of knowing and being and doing than you have been led to believe. And we're here to say to you quite simply, you are as great as your greatest. You are within yourself as great as your greatest, but the effort required to become that which you may is in your hands. You have free will in that regard to use your mechanism of thought, your creative process. You have the choice and the free will to use it as you see fit. But if you choose to defer what you will think to the system of others without sound consideration, then you may fall victim to ideas and beliefs that go counter to your well-being and your happiness. And you are in a very beautiful time, humanity. You are in a very exquisite and remarkable time of opportunity and potential to elevate yourselves individually and collectively to a level of creation that only but a handful of civilizations have realized upon this physical planet. While there are many others throughout your stars that have already done that and are maintaining it quite successfully, you have yet to achieve any long-lasting measure of that form of creative enlightenment that would allow you to move among the stars in ways that your current sciences can only postulate about, but which we know exist. Thank you. I wasn't expecting that. I was personally coming on just to do Q&A today, guys, but I want to say thank you to the Ascended for coming through for us. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful time we're in right now. Good morning, everybody. Who's this here? Oh, Kelly Keene. Thank you so much for that super chat, Kelly. That's really wonderful. Thank you. Really appreciate the support. Got a question from Vio on YouTube, wondering if there is any safe meat for me to consume, free from mRNA. Yeah, there is, but they're getting farther and fewer between. You want to go into the outer lying communities, where especially the communities of the Mennonite communities, where they treat their animals with great respect and regard according to their nature, not according to science. There are other communities that also raise animals for that purpose. If that is your thing, to consume animal flesh, then that is one thing that comes to me to suggest to you, Vio. There's great research being done to prove that there are human bodies that need meat in order to really thrive and be healthy, and which makes sense to me if you think about it. In nature, there are vegetarian animals, there are herbivores, there are omnivores. You know, it stands to reason if we are God's highest manifestation, which I do not believe truly, we certainly haven't demonstrated that in any great measure. But I believe that in the animal kingdom, and our bodies are animal bodies. Your body is not better than a dog or a cat. Your body is literally an animal that you inhabit while you're in this dimension. And some bodies, like other animals, other species of animal, need meat. Lions, there's a few other animals that eat meat exclusively. And again, I don't know them all. But yeah, you can go into the outer lying communities where they're natural farmers. They're still following very old principles of life, tried and true principles that have done well for their communities and kept them in peace and happiness and harmony. So please consider that. Good morning, Christopher. Good to see you, brother. And thank you for that #1 gifters badge. Really appreciate it. So yeah, for those of you that are just arriving here, I'm a spiritual medium and a channel, and I channel information that comes from different sources of information, ascended masters, multidimensional beings, and it's their information I'm channeling. I'm really just a vessel for this, right? I'm not a very, I wouldn't say I'm an intelligent man. I simply am wise enough to know when I hear something to know if it's true or not, and allow it to flow through. And I've been doing this for about 4.5 years. I had my awakening, that moment where I suddenly realized I'm not alone. There's these beings that communicate with us all the time. And I began to allow that information to flow through. And I've been doing so now with the goal, from what they told me, the goal was to bring humanity to a state of awakening, to love and not fear, to polarize ourselves to love not fear. And it's a very interesting time to be doing this. I never would have expected this. I'm grateful. Karen 8111 is asking on TikTok, is there a message from my guides regarding what I'm manifesting, please? Yeah, they're saying there's a little bit of uncertainty you have to release. You have to get fully into it being now. Do not concern yourself with the external effects at this time. Be very grounded and centered strongly in the feeling it is completed. The joy and the excitement of it being completed. Be deeply in this and go about the things you know to go about doing towards this, but do so all things with the feeling it is done, even if you are paying your bills or making a phone call or going for a walk. It all is part of one and the same thing for you. It's all part of one and the same thing, that feeling that you wish to manifest into form. I like that. Thank you so much. They love you very much. They say you just keep going. You got to stop vacillating. You got to stop vacillating back towards fear. Oh, I got a new subscriber on. Thank you so much. New subscriber on TikTok. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Please remember to follow. For those of you, if you like the video, give the video a thumbs up on YouTube. If you're on TikTok, go to my YouTube. There's over 800 videos of different channeled messages there that you can observe and learn a great deal from. I'm constantly humbled. Good morning, Facebook user. Welcome to you too. And Kelly, thank you so much for that. I'm trying to see if you left a question here. Usually, thank you so much. For those of you that want to ask a question, please feel free to do so right now. Someone's asking, are you able to help find lost items? Hi, April. I have had that happen once or twice. It's not something that I choose to do. I prefer to be a vessel for information. But the thing that you're looking for, you have to release. You have to release the loss, the feeling of loss. You have to first release the feeling of loss from your body. Release the feeling of loss from your body, and go into the feeling of how you are feeling, having found it already. You've already found it. How would you be feeling? You want to shift your energy. Your energy is connected to every situation in our lives. This is true for everybody. The emotions you hold are intimately connected to the events and experiences that you're having in your life right now. So you go into the feeling, how would you be feeling right now if you already found it? And release the feeling of, oh, I lost it, I can't find it. Release that feeling, release that energy, and get into how good it feels to have found it. It's not about what your mind thinks, it's about what you feel, because feeling, emotion, generates outcomes and actions and experiences in our world. So yeah, please do that. Oh yes, I will. You just did. You just did. Somebody's saying here on YouTube, can I please tell my brother Carlos Ortega, thank you for saving my son. He says you already did. You just did. You've been thanking him for a while. He's felt that. Yeah, you felt it. He says you've thought you were some bug was on your face the other day. It was him caressing you. Understand, it wasn't anything on your face. It was him caressing you. When a person leaves the physical dimension, yes, I will. When the person leaves the physical, he just wants to send you so much love and joy. He wants you to feel his love and joy. I want to share something that I've learned in the last few years is, just receive that love and joy from him right now too. Yeah, that you thought it was a bug on your face yet. It wasn't him. It was him caressing you. When you leave the physical body, depending on the circumstances under which you leave and how awake and aware you are of who you are, you no longer cease to have a physical form. So you cannot be seen, you cannot be heard in the typical sense of eyes and ears. You still exist in a form of energy. We all do. And this is just a physical form of energy that's following my direction. But you are a different consciousness. You're not in the same personality, the same way. So memory becomes a very different thing when you leave the body as well. But when you reach out with your emotions to a person who's left the physical dimension, when you reach out to a person who's left the physical dimension, you can't speak words. They don't have a body to hear physical words, but they can feel and sense thought and intention. So anytime you find yourself thinking about your loved ones, they're going to react and respond in the way that they can, and you'll receive it in the way that you're open to. And again, we've had many people who have had loved ones, even in this program, have had loved ones and they feel their presence with them, or they rediscover their presence with them, or as this wonderful lady here, she felt the caress of her brother on the face and she thought it was a bug the other day, right? It wasn't. Hi, Nat. Can you tell me, Nat is asking on TikTok, can you tell me if my late sister Amanda is at peace? I want to say the vast majority of people that leave the physical dimension lose self-awareness because they're so identified with body. And I want to explain this, is important. But yes, to answer your question directly, yes, she's at a state of peace. Yeah, she just wants to come closer to you. She wants you, again, when you think of closer, don't think in terms of physically closer. Feel the presence of her energy right now. Feel her peace right now, Amanda. She wants you to feel, because when you think towards them, you reactivate their self-awareness. And I'm going to explain that a bit. So you're in a physical body. All of us have physical bodies. It's called a localized identity that gets a construct called a personality. And that personality formulates who you think you are while you're in this physical dimension. When you put your body to sleep at night, the body goes into a deep state of sleep. The brain becomes less active, and you as a soul leave the body. And when that happens, you don't remember, most people do not remember where they went or what they did at night, because you're so used to, you've been trained by this environment to understand and comprehend events in times and space in terms of a physical reality. So that the sense of who you are as a non-physical entity has never been realized by most people. But the truth is, you are a non-physical entity inhabiting a physical medium called matter with a constructed personality based on the environment and the elements of survival and creation to believe that you are that individualized personality. As you begin to awaken to who you are, you can realize that you are more than the body, more than the mind, more than the thoughts. People that do that are often called mystics. They can astral travel, they can astral project, they can move their awareness to other dimensions. But generally speaking, when people leave the physical body prematurely or by whatever reason, most people lose self-awareness. Not that they're unconscious, they're just not aware they're conscious. And again, you're so used to having your eyes open, you think this is who I am. And you believe that's all you are, that physical body. And so when the body's asleep or it ceases to function anymore, then you lose that locus of identity, that point of self-awareness of being just the body. And through meditation, you can cultivate a point of self-awareness that's not localized to the body. And many of the mystics will talk about this to you, that you can cultivate through meditation a state of non-localized awareness, which is why they can astral project or move their awareness to different points of time and space. And that's called being awake and aware. But your sister's and giving you that peace that she's feeling right now. Keep in mind that each and every one of you is awakening right now. Everybody on this planet is awakening. A question from: what tips do you have for managing judgmental thoughts as they arise during meditation? I often judge myself for not meditating correctly during the process. There's only one response. When you've got a mind, and I love this. This is when they gave me this, when my guardian angel John and Master Jesus began instructing me and saying, this is what you have to start doing with your thoughts and start doing with your body. And it was really simple and easy, and it's helped so many people. So when you're in the place where you're meditating and judgmental thoughts come up to you, there's two things you can do. The first thing you can do is you can simply say, I love you, even if I don't understand you. Don't offer it resistance. Don't try to get rid of it. Just simply say, I love you, even if I don't understand you. That statement for you, that will work really well. I love you, even if I do not understand you. And you'll be surprised at how many of those thoughts will just stop like that. Because what most people do is they feel an unpleasant thought and they want to get rid of the unpleasant thought. And the minute you try to get rid of an unpleasant thought, you add resistance to it. And the moment you add resistance to it, you feed it energy until they would start to become more persistent. But if you simply say, I love you, even if I don't understand you, and do that in your meditation, right? And then just observe, because once the energy, once that vibration of love that you transmit changes it, then there's going to be no resistance. And then in love, being in a state of love and grace in pure meditation, there's no resistance. In pure meditation, there's no resistance because there's no duality. Very fascinating, isn't it? Thanks for that question, Kashish. Really appreciate it. Let's clear these banners out of here. Hide that. Hide that. There we go. Everybody knows what day it is, don't you? Hi, someone's asking on TikTok. Hi, Nat. Hi, can you tell me if my late sister Amanda? Oh yeah, we already got to you, darling. We got to you. I'm just trying to get lots of notifications here. Hi, guys. Can you ask my mom's help to find an expensive list item? I think we dealt with that. Again, you can ask right now, April. Again, the moment you go into a state, I don't lose anything. I used to think I lost things. I don't lose anything now. Your thoughts are very powerful. How would you feel if you found it? Release all the fear that it's lost. Release any fear that it's lost, and simply go into the feeling, I have it. Go into the feeling, I already have it. Because when you change your energy, you can change what you're going to see with your eyes and hear with your ears. The emotions you hold on to cause your eyes and ears, your brain, to filter information according to the nature and quality of the emotion. So if you're in a state of I've lost it, I don't know where it is, then your brain is going to filter everything so that it doesn't find it. It just does that. In conventional psychology, they call it, or I think it's actually a psychiatric term called a scotoma, in where you tell yourself, I can't find the salt in my kitchen counter. It's sitting right in front of you, but you can't find it. And your wife or your husband or your child comes in, you say, where did you move the salt? And they say, it's right in front of you. And you go, oh my God, I didn't even see it. The minute you tell yourself something, you tell your mind and body, the mind and body will react and respond to what you're telling it. So be careful what you're telling your mind. So open your mind that it's available to be found and you're open and ready to receive it, that item. As to where it is, it's not as far as you think. That's what I'm getting. It's not as far as you think. Well, good morning. Hi. I'm just wondering, where is everybody from? Does everybody want to leave a message? Tell me where you're from, what country, what city, where you guys are living. Sure, let me know. Just put a quick question with the city you're in and country. We'd love to know where everybody's from. Question from Lauren. May I have a message for my birthday tomorrow? Well, Lauren, first of all, I want to say so much love to you. You're a beautiful soul and you're doing great work. I really appreciate it. Yes. Count the words that came in right now. Count not your age by years, but measure your age by wisdom. Do not let the mind diminish the beauty of your own function at this time. Be willing, open, and receptive to articulate the love, the gratitude, and the joy that can enter into your heart on this day. Do not measure it by years, but by love. Wow. Do not measure the day by years, but measure it by love. Thank you, Lauren. Appreciate that. So somebody's saying, Andrea is saying, how can I move out of a state of healing, feeling stuck and lost when I can't see a way forward? Andrea, thank you so much for that question. And can I just ask you to do something with us right now? Because anybody else can do this too. So for those of you that are feeling stuck, Andrea's been brave enough to ask this question because it's a really powerful and simple mechanism for doing it. Can I first ask you to do two things, Andrea? Just sit your body down, take a slow, deep breath, and let your body relax. Like literally give your body the choice to relax. Like give your body permission to relax. Just take a deep breath and do that. Remember, when you exhale, you tell the body to release tension. So take a few deep breaths and let the body relax. Because first thing you need to do is get the body unstuck. That's step one. So as you continue to breathe and let the body relax more and more, I want you to locate in your body where the feeling of stuck is most intense. Locate in your body where the feeling of stuck is most intense in your body, whether it's in your head or your shoulders, your back, your groin or your feet. But find the place in your body where it feels stuck and bring your awareness to the place where it feels stuck. Yes, I will. And observe the space that that feeling of stuck occupies in your body. And communicate this thought to that place, that stuck feeling. Communicate this thought to the stuck feeling. I am here to love you and liberate you because I love you. That sequence. And repeat that sequence to the stuck feeling 2 more times. I'm here to love you and liberate you because I love you. And think and speak those words with a tone internal that is sincere. I'm here to love you and liberate you because I love you. And just do that 3 or 4 times and become aware of how the feeling of stuck changes in your body. And once you feel the feeling changing in your body, you'll start to shift things in your environment, because the feeling of stuck is connected to very specific events that are occurring in your life right now. Once you change that feeling in the body, you're actually starting to shift and change the things that are connected to it in the world. So I'm really excited for you. I'm told if you work with that stuck feeling for the next couple of days, just like really that statement, breathing, no matter when you feel stuck, at any time you get that stuck feeling, simply pause, stop and say, I love you. I'm here to liberate you because I love you. And repeat that statement every time that stuck feeling comes up. And don't worry about what's going to change or how it's going to change or when it's going to change. The goal here is to shift the energy that you're holding on to so that the world around you starts to shift according to this change in the energy. Very exciting stuff. This is all, by the way, all this is information I've been given by my guides, my angels, the Ascended Masters. Everything you're hearing is what I've been given by them. And I want to give credit to those beings, because without them, my life would be a very different story right now. So you do have guides, you do have angels. You are not alone on this physical dimension, right? At all. I mean, there's 7 billion human beings for one thing, but for another thing, when you think you're separate, just go inside. You know, the key is to get your mind, to train the thinking mind, to train your thinking mind to be quiet, to be still, to be calm, to be receptive to you. What's happening with many people now is they're open to whatever's coming off the television or through entertainment. You're letting your mind be filled with ideas that are not compatible with who you are. Most shows are horribly violent and aggressive and sexual and distorted. And a spiritual being is not distorted in any way, shape, or form. Watch what you let in your mind, please. Because your happiness depends upon what you let in your mind. And your happiness depends on your ability to release from your mind what does not serve you. Right? It's really true. Vazia's saying, I cannot move because I want my girls to stay where we live. They have friends here. Yeah, as a parent, you're faced with a very important decision, but if you do not do what is best for you, you will teach your children not to do what is best for them. You'll teach your children to give up what matters to them most. Do not do that. Do what you know is going to be best for you. You love your children. You love them very much. But do not make the mistake of teaching them that giving up what you want to do is the right thing. That's not a good example to set for them at all. It's we teach our children by what we're doing and being. And if you're teaching your children that giving up what you love for what somebody else needs, it's not a good thing to teach them. You want to do what you love, because then when you do what you love, you're going to be a better person. You'll be a better mom. You're going to bring in new situations, opportunities that your children won't experience by keeping them in the place where you think they feel safest. And children, oftentimes, they're beautiful beings, but they don't often know what's best for themselves. They don't. They depend upon the a better consciousness. And yet we're now placing children in the position where we're telling them they can make critical decisions over their biology, their sexuality, when it hasn't even been developed yet. That's insanity. But do not do the things that are going to elevate you to your best self. I mean, if you're going to go somewhere that's going to be harmful to you, I would say no, stay where you are. But if you're going to go to an opportunity that's going to make your life better and make you a happier, more brilliant person, then that's what you want to do. That's what you want your children to learn, right? Thank you. Hi, guys. Yeah, we are at that place now. Oh, you're very welcome, Lauren. So where are people from? Somebody's from the Annapolis Valley, Maryland. Hello, Maryland. From Cape Town in Africa. Hi, Blaine. Wonderful. Yeah, it's nice to see where people are from. Bazia, your dad is not gone from existence. He's just not in a physical body. He's been trying to push you forward for a long time. That feeling of alone is what's keeping you alone. You know, yes. He's saying, get up, get going. Live, girl, live, 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 live. He wants you to live. Doesn't want you sitting around feeling sorry for yourself. That's not, he's saying that's not how he raised you. He raised you to be strong and outgoing. It's funny. Hi, message from D Una. Does my mother have a message for me? Just give me a second here, D. She's saying you have to surrender your sadness. Tell her to let go of the sadness. You have to let go of the sadness. She says you were always an emotional child. You always would brood on things. She said that was one of the challenges you faced. Letting go of that process of holding on to sadness is really. She's saying if she releases this, she'll move forward very quickly. You've got more than your mother, your grandmother. You've got others working with you too. It's really important. Let go of your sadness. Don't hold on to it. Don't hold it. There's no need. So someone's saying, I need to know if my loved one is at peace. She died so young and it was accidental. Yeah, she was surprised too. She's been hovering around you for quite some time. The dolls. Something about the dolls falling over. Something about, she's tried to let you know that she's been around. So there's dolls, some sort of dolls that have fallen over. I don't know what that is, but this is going way back. But there was something about dolls that fell over. She was letting you know that she was present then. She says she's not as present with you now because she's moving to other experiences of learning. But she's saying, thank you for keeping me awake. What do you mean by that? Her constant thinking about me kept me aware of myself. And this is something I'm very grateful for. So when you, just so you know, when you think about your loved ones that are not in the physical form, and I want to send you much gratitude for this opportunity to share the energy of her with you. But that place of when you think about those you love, when they're not in a physical form, they feel that from you. And you can learn to tune into their energy. You can literally learn to tune into their energy just by getting your mind quiet and open and feel the presence of them around you, right? You can do that. Thank you so much for that. Oh, you're welcome, Lauren. Question from Blaine. We got a channel message yesterday that I may die in 5 years. How does the future and paths work? I don't get that at all, Blaine. I'm not getting that vibration at all. I'm seeing like a very long, I'm seeing like an infinity point. I'm seeing like a mountain range with a road going into it. like it's called the infinity point, where you got a long road ahead of you, brother, like a long road to into the mountains. Like you're going up again. This is not a physical place you're going. This is a metaphor. You've got a long road ahead of you. Don't let anybody put that energy on you that you only have 5 years. Don't let anybody put any idea or thought on you that does not resonate with who you're capable of becoming. I went through that myself. Question from Kelly Keene. My mom has been having frequent UTI and other health issues. Is there something she can do to help her with these? Yeah, get her on cranberries. You want to get cranberries into her diet. Again, I'm not a medical professional, but I know from personal experience and having worked with my mother-in-law that's a really easy way to clear that up. Because you want to get cranberries into the system to break down the crystallization. Yes, because the body crystallizes stuff that doesn't serve it, right? So yeah, you want to get her on cranberries, and yes, you want to reduce as many of the acidic foods as possible. You want to reduce as many of the acidic foods as possible for her right now. Again, I'm not a dietitian, and there's such a broad range of foods that are acidic and a broad range of foods that are alkaline. You'll have to sort through that yourself, but I'm being told to tell you that right now, that you need to really get her into more of an alkaline diet. Cranberries right now, like really get the cranberries going right now. Yeah, cranberry juice is really, like real cranberries. Don't go and get the store-bought canned cranberries. No, buy fresh cranberries, make a juice out of them, right? Add a little bit of lemon to it, I'm told as well. Thank you so much. Great question, Kelly. Oh, thank you for that super chat, Kelly. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome, Matt. Yeah, it's so important. So Astral's trying to astral project. Yes. Every one of you, I understand. I understand what it feels like, at least in an empathic way, when you lose somebody that's close to you that you love. And the belief that you've lost them is tragic. The belief is more tragic than the event, I think. Because when somebody loses the physical medium of expression, that is, they lose their body, it doesn't mean that they cease to exist. They cease to exist on this dimension. And if you can learn to open up your senses and feel the consciousness of them, you'll realize that they're just not in a physical dimension anymore. Much the same way as if I had two radio sets in front of me and we had both radios playing the same station. Okay? They're playing the same station. And I accidentally knock one of the radios off the counter and it breaks. And no matter what I do, it doesn't play that station again. But the vehicle's been damaged, won't work anymore. The signal won't come through. But the other one is still playing that music. That is the station, which is, think of the station as a metaphor for life or consciousness, and the radios as the physical body. So when the physical body ceases to function, that which is life doesn't cease to exist. It just can't come through that instrument anymore. So the consciousness of the individual is no longer localized to a single physical body, but you can still connect to them. Energetically, you can learn the process of how to reconnect to the energy of your loved ones. And then you're not going to be worried about going on with your life, because they're not dead. They're just not in a physical form. Dead. The word death and dead should be removed from the English language. It's an energy of transition from a physical state to a non-physical state. But I send you all much love, because I know how important people we're close to can be. I really do. But just because they lose their physical medium of expression doesn't mean they cease to be in existence. They're just not in physical existence. Our Masterclass series, which we have our Masterclass series beginning June 24th of this year, we give people a simple course of instruction on how to become sensitive to tune into the energies of your loved ones, ascended masters, guides, and angels. You can actually learn to do that. There's a system for learning how to tune into guidance. And it's not a very difficult thing to learn. It's a course that's held over a 3-week period. Many of the classes are taught by the ascended masters and other teachers and instructors from other dimensional realms. So you can go check out my website if you want to do that. Again, I get to be a vehicle for this. Hi. Oh, hi. Got somebody from Seattle, Chicago, Edmonton. Hey, guys. Moraga. Where's Moraga? I've never heard of Moraga. Moringa. Moraga. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Florida. Another one from Canada, Vancouver, Quebec. Wow, this is great, guys. From Newfoundland, Canada. Oh, love Newfoundland. By the way, Newfoundland is where I first had my first conscious communication with somebody who had left the physical dimension. It was a week after my mother-in-law had passed away, and my wife and I were driving through the mountains in Gros Morne, and as we're driving through the mountains, all of a sudden the car, I start smelling this incredible perfume smell. I said, I'm smelling this incredible perfume, and then a voice speaks to me and says, I'm the mother. And I said, somebody's saying that they're saying, I'm the mother. And she goes, well, what are they saying? She's saying, I have to pull over. I can't talk while I'm driving. So I did. I pulled over, and then for the next 45 minutes, my wife had a conversation, which she fortunately recorded with her mother, who just passed away from the physical dimension. And from that day forward, I've been able to tap into different energies, different beings, guides, angels, consciously and deliberately. But I realized in having learned to awaken to that reality that I also, my whole life I've been guided. I've had angels and guides nudging me without even knowing, and creating serendipitous events to let me know that I had a reason for existing. And you all have guides and angels. You are not alone. In your despair and your fear and your guilt, your shame, you might think you are alone. But I want to say to you that you're not. That your despair is not who you are. Your depression is not who you are. Your anxiety is not who you are. They are symptoms of oftentimes beliefs and ideas that you've acquired from this world that are not compatible with who you are. And you know that. That's why it feels uncomfortable, because you know that's not who you are. You're not depression. You're not anxiety. You're not fear. You're not guilt. That's not who you are. Anyway, thank you, Newfoundland, and so on and so forth. Who else we got here? Somebody saying, I highly recommend joining William and Michael's courses. They have changed my life. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for that, Jen. Really appreciate it. Dee's from Toronto. Hey, hi, Dee. Welcome. Yes, good morning. Ali B is asking, I was wondering if there's any message coming through for me. Yes. Yeah, you got to really start watching your breath. They're telling me that you need to really focus on being deliberate breathing. It will lead to ultimately your freedom. The word they're giving is angst. To liberate your angst from you, to liberate your angst from your body, you need to really focus on the breathing. Yeah, make sure you pull your shoulders back, open that whole chest area up, and breathe. Like really focus on full, deep breathing to liberate the angst from your body. The angst. This is something you've been carrying around for a while. The angst is connected to, yes, things from your past that are also causing some concerns in your present. Remember, whatever emotions we hold in our body are creating effects in our lives. Remember that. Whatever emotions you're holding in your body are creating effects in your lives. I got a question here on YouTube from Drusilla. Is there a message from Todd? Wow. He's not going to be, he wasn't ready to leave, but he's not ready to leave now either. Sand. He says he misses the sand. He's missing the sand of the beach. That's what he says it's a really weird thing that would stand out, but he misses the sand. And sunrise. And you. And them. I miss them all. But this is, yes. Yeah, he's going to get past this. Understand that happens sometimes too, where you realize you think you weren't ready to leave. You just don't know how to be where you are. Please let them know I'm really okay. I am really okay. Yes. The reason he misses it, that's his way of trying to stay connected. Nobody's listening to me. He says nobody's listening to him. Like, please Yeah, hang on. He's saying please. He's getting very excited all of a sudden. That happens a lot when they suddenly realize they can actually speak through somebody. They can get really excited, but please let them know. Please let them know I'm okay. I'm not gone. Let them know. Yeah. When you think that somebody's gone and they're gone forever, you actually put an energetic block between yourself and their consciousness. Like literally, you can block off. Somebody leaves them. They're gone. They're dead. Oh my God. And you're in that state. You actually create an energy block that prevents them from communicating with you and you from perceiving them, right? Like if you just relax and feel his presence with you right now, Drusilla, like really like feel it. Like I know you can feel it. And tell them the same. Tell them too to feel his presence. He says, then I will be at peace. I will be at peace when they know. Because he knows that a lot of them believe that they're mourning. They need to know that he's not dead. Right? You know, Master Jesus talks about death quite extensively. That if you're reborn into that consciousness, which is the spirit, you will have everlasting life. And it's real true. When you awaken to the divinity within you, you will not die in the sense of non-existence anymore. I think we got time for one more question. I got to get going, guys. One more question from TikTok. Somebody saying, Laura Jacobs saying, any message coming through for me? I'm very sick with morning sickness this time. Okay, Laura, it's not just you, okay? You need to sit with the child. Sit with the spirit of the child in your body and get into loving grace. Like go into grace. The feeling of sickness, you want to embrace it with love and grace. Welcome the child. Like do this right now, Laura. Like literally feel it more, feel that nauseous feeling is. Speak these words. I accept you and I love you. Speak those words to that sensation. I accept you and I love you. Those words. I accept you and I love you. And observe what happens the moment you do that. I accept you and I love you. Those words. Whenever that sensation of sickness comes up, I accept you and I love you. Okay? Except those words are very specific for you. And I'll take one more question on YouTube. Yes, good for you, Drusilla. Drusilla saying I can feel his energy. Question from Mary. Last one. Any messages from my guides for me? Mary. I got these I'll call them fairies and nature spirits. The work you're doing, it needs a wider place. The beautiful things, just so anybody knows, Mary Hernandez, she does these incredible candles and stuff. And if you can, Mary, you need to get that out there because the energy, the work you're doing is really powerful. The stuff that you're making and creating is going to help a lot of people. It's not just candles, and you know that. They say you already know that, but they want you to get it out more. So like share it out in whatever way you can. Go to my group page, Soul Evolution. I think you remember the page. Put some of the pictures of your beautiful work there, but let other people know that your work is really powerfully imbued with nature energy, right? The nature of the natural world. It's very important for humans to reconnect to it this time. Thank you so much, Mary. I really appreciate that. Good question. And I want to say to everybody, much love. I want you all to have a joyful day. And I will see you guys tomorrow during the meditation at 10 a.m. here on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, where we will do a little discussion and a meditation, which is always important at this time. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.